Welcome to Coffee on the Couch. Coffee on the Couch. Hi, welcome to Couchside Coffee. I'm so excited about our next guest. Mostly my children are really excited to listen to this as well. You're going to learn why in just a second. But I have Natalie Mackey. Did I say that right?
Correct.
I've been practicing that, so
yeah.
Terrible with names. She is the founder of Unlimited Play. So if you don't know what that is, we're going to tell you all about it and how it's so local to our community. And now they are just blessing so many people nationwide and already internationally or soon to be internationally.
We already have projects in Canada.
Okay,
so
and
Canada
international.
counts.
Oh,
Yeah.
it absolutely counts.
There you go.
Today, Natalie is drinking a vanilla latte with coconut milk.
Yes,
Is that your go-to? Is that just like your drink?
It is my go-to if it's not just a normal black coffee.
Sure.
One or the other.
You like black coffee?
I sure
gotcha.
do.
Me too.
Yeah.
I do like a good
I
black
did
coffee.
buy your pecan flavored coffee.
Southern pecan.
Oh my gosh, that's
a
phenomenal. And
good
that's what
roast.
I make at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'll have to
it
give you a
sure
little
is.
sample of our king cake since it's Mardi Gras season.
Oh, that'd
So
be
before
great.
you leave, I'll give you a little sample.
Yeah.
I am drinking. I told you we went to Disney last
You
week.
did. Yeah, and you're still sitting on this couch somehow.
We have Disney hangovers.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a sniffle. So I'm drinking like a PJ's medicine ball version of a medicine ball. So just honey and chamomile mint tea, and we're just.
That's good. You have access
It was worth
to that
it.
right
It was
away.
so worth
Yeah.
it. I'd get another Disney hangover again, I think. But
It is worth it.
okay, so let's talk about Unlimited Play. Tell me what it is, how you found it. Give us all the lowdown of it.
Sure. Unlimited Play started because of my son, Zachary, born with a severe disability. So, gosh, I took him to the playground when he was really little, put him in an infant swing, so it has a belt around it,
Sure.
and he could not even sit up in that swing. And I thought the disease would take not only everything that we do so easily from him, but even his opportunity to play at a playground. And more than that would be, that's where we make friends, right?
Sure.
A day on the playground with your friends. And as he continued to grow, I thought there's got to be something to give back, right?
Sure.
The disease has taken so much, and it was the opportunity to create a play space where he could play like every other kid, make friends, laugh and forget about the
Sure.
hardships of every day.
Yeah, learn how to play, how to be a kid. You know, I couldn't imagine having, a disability and not even having access to something so simple that we take for granted.
Yeah, people don't think about playgrounds, right? Until you suddenly can't even participate.
Sure.
And with that, before we built Zachary's Playground here in Lake St. Louis, I would take my kids, so I have 2 girls also, to a typical playground. And Zach would ask why his legs don't work, why he couldn't play. Questions I honestly avoided. I didn't want to have to rehash those all the time. So instead of going to playgrounds, I'd say, hey, want to go to McDonald's, which is not where I want to end up, right?
Yeah.
And just eat chicken nuggets versus playing on a playground. So building Zachary's was a dream right here in Lake St. Louis. And we had the right Parks Department, the right mayor, everybody who believed in building a community that is welcoming to everybody.
So that really plays into you have to have the community, right? Like it
Absolutely.
all boils down to the community. And I always preach how Lake St. Louis is amazing in that aspect. They're just very welcoming and very inclusive, and just the community, the people itself are just top notch. I feel like opening my PJs here, they have just taken us in with open arms. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and I wonder if you know the power of what you're doing right here with me, right? Years ago, I called Lake St. Louis and said I have a dream of building an inclusive playground. Just started a nonprofit, and if you say yes, we're going to raise $750,000, right? But it's the power of what you and I are doing right now, sitting on a couch, right? As a local business owner, you said, Natalie, can I tell your story?
Yeah.
And telling my story then brings other people who, back then, raising $750,000 sounded impossible.
It sounds impossible now.
Well, it's not always easy by
Right.
any means. But back then I would walk into the local Ambassadors Club here in Lake St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
And they would say, Natalie, I love the idea. How much money have you raised? And I would have to say, nothing, nothing yet, right? But then slowly this community had business owners that said, we want to invest in your dream.
Yeah.
And then I could go back to somebody like the Ambassadors and say, here's local companies who chose to invest, and then they came on board. And it was just this avalanche. But it took some business owners saying, we believe in it, and we're going to be the foundation. Yeah.
I love it. How do you design the playgrounds? Do you like architect? Do you get to put your input? Because if you haven't been to Zachary's Playground or Jake's Field of Dreams in Winsville, they are amazing playgrounds.
I happen to think so.
Yeah, I mean, my kids love them. I have a 9.5-year-old, 2.5-year-old. As a mom, I appreciate them because they are enclosed, you know?
They are.
For the most part. There's gates and stuff, but it's not just like a free-for-all. So I can kind of, my kids are kind of enclosed in a awesome playground. But I also think it's important as a mom that they also see just humans of all walks of lives, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you're not introduced to people with disabilities or, you know, other types of people. And there they are, and they can play with them. And we've had good conversations like, you know, some people are born this way and some people are born that way. And I would love to talk to you after this of like how to talk to my children about that. Or if you want to talk to them now, I'm just very blunt with them, you know, like some people are born that way. Some people get illnesses, but everyone's a human. Everyone deserves love, right?
The best thing to address it immediately, right? Back when we used to go to malls, I would hear kids say, oh, what's wrong with him to their parent, right? Looking at Zach. And parents naturally pull their kids aside and say, shh, don't say that.
Yeah.
But that almost creates the barrier that then exists. So the playground, like Zachary's Playground, I had a day there with Zach years ago where this little 8-year-old boy ran up and he said, what is wrong with him? And I explained, and it must have been too long because suddenly his little body slumped over and he said, I don't even care. Can he now play with me? But he needed to know the answer to that question, right? So I think as parents, to give your kids the freedom to ask the question is really important in a respectful way. And whether that's to you as a parent or say, hey, maybe we can go say hi. And, and your child can introduce themselves and say, what's your name? And then open up that conversation, right?
Do you think, because kids are they're just so open and loving anyways, do you think that child and maybe children who ask those questions are more like, maybe he was more focused on like, can he play with me?
100%.
How do I play with him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, he didn't have the fear of, oh no, what do I do? Just didn't know if it was even possible, right? Because Zach drove a wheelchair. So now I dream. I mean, that experience would have been 15 years ago probably, and he was 8-ish. And now I hope that, who is now a man, is in an industry who remembers one day on a playground, I didn't know that this little boy, because the environment was created correctly, could do everything I could do.
Sure.
And he takes that knowledge into the industry he's in. Maybe he's a mayor in a small community that says everything we do is going to be welcoming and inclusive in our community.
That's
so
awesome.
The power of the playground can truly change the next generation if done right to remove the barriers that we're talking about.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
But I'll tell you the fencing that you highlight.
Yes.
You appreciate it for your kids that can't run away. When we opened Zachary's, one of the calls I got most often was from families that have children with autism.
Okay.
And those kids literally don't understand the boundaries, and they would run into the parking lot and into the street. So we got lots of calls from families saying, can you please fence in your playgrounds?
So originally it wasn't fenced in?
There were some pieces of it, but not totally fenced in. So there was a safety risk, particularly for individuals with autism. So now if you, throughout St. Charles County, St. Louis, we have lots of playgrounds, and every single one of them has a fence around it.
I've also seen where you either have incorporated or are incorporating, is it a quiet zone, or what do you call it?
Quiet grove.
A quiet grow.
Yes.
I thought that was genius.
You've seen that at Jake's
so
far. And again, we had families with kids with autism say, hey, our kids get overstimulated and the entire family has to leave. We have, Unlimited Play has a national partnership with Little Tikes Commercial, which allows me to go back and say, hey, here's a problem we see, and can we fix it? So the Quiet Grove that you see was created by working with families with kids with autism, and then Little Tikes Commercial to say, what product can we develop to help fix that problem?
That's so cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks. I love it. Can you tell us how, if someone's listening, I don't know, across the nation or in a community that doesn't have one, how can they start the process of building an unlimited playground?
Sure. So first thing is get a hold of my office. So you can find our website at unlimitedplay.org. There's a form to fill out there. Or email me directly, Natalie at unlimitedplay.org. And we just start a conversation. We build around the nation now. We work with local teams. We train them how to fundraise. They use our nonprofit status to do that. We bring in reps through Little Tikes because they're national that we work with. And then we often would like people who are considering it to contact us before the city. So it can be a true team partnership.
And you can probably, at this point, you've done it so many times, you can help them with like how to word things, how to present it to their cities.
And if you can't tell, it's my very favorite subject to discuss. So yesterday I was in Detroit doing a presentation. I fly all around the nation talking to cities about the importance of doing this. So before you reach out to the city yourself, call us.
Okay.
And we'll help you do that.
You do help with all of that. That's part of the whole thing.
From the entire thing, from designing, fundraising, contacting the city, what opening day looks like, and everything in between.
Awesome.
Now we have a lot of projects that are fully funded, so I don't want you to think we don't do that. We do fully funded projects.
That's so cool. And so you told us you came up with the idea based off your son, Zach.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about Jake Fields of Dreams? Because you said that was your friend. You just told me this.
It is. So Jake's Field of Dreams came about when, honestly, a city council member called and left a message at my office saying, hey, we saw you on KSDK last night and the city's interested in the project. Cool. But at the same time, a gentleman who owned a t-shirt company.
Okay.
His son had muscular dystrophy and had passed away, and Jim called and said, my son never had the opportunity to play on a playground. I'd like to build one in Wentzville. Would you consider? And both of those calls came in within a day or two.
And they hadn't talked to each other?
No, not at all. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Sometimes there's these moments that feel like projects are meant to be.
Yeah.
So I went and I met with Jim and I heard Jake's story, right? He loved sports, loved the Cardinals. And Jim said, I haven't really thought about what the design of the playground will look like. And then he just had the whole thing actually drawn out, right? Like Jake had never played football. So why not have a zip line that makes you feel like you're running a football down the field? And he loved the Cardinals. So can we do a Cardinals stadium? So I talked with Jim and then I was able to call Matt Swanson, the alderman in Wentzville, and say, you won't believe this, but we have a family who just requested a playground in Wentzville. Is there any way this can all come together? So Unlimited Play, I was able to go present to city council. The mayor and the council were so supportive of the project. They committed $500,000 and challenged us to raise dollar for dollar.
Wow.
Right. And we actually raised $700,000. So
that's amazing.
The park that you see, plus the shelters that are there, all of that came again from a community who believes in creating inclusion in places where people feel like they belong and they were thought about.
We had my son's 6th or 7th birthday party there.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. We love that park. We love all the parks, but yeah, he's into sports. So that's he loves going there.
It's probably my number one as I travel throughout the nation and show what we've done. people love Jake's Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
and
it's
wonder
a cool
how to
design.
do something similar.
Yeah. Hi, Jamie here from PJ's Coffee in Lake St. Louis. We are offering BOGO deals Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. We are doing it as like a little after-school treat after work. What's better than one drink, but 2 drinks? So make sure you stop by and get your special treat after work or school. Thanks. Bye. We kind of touched on this, but I would really like to hear. We touched on it in the sense of educating people and being inclusive, but why are these parks such a valuable asset to communities? Can you kind of touch on that a little bit more? We talked about, kids growing up and then learning that like in their own companies or their own lives, like to be inclusive to everyone. What else? How else do they bring value to communities?
Certainly, I think playgrounds, parks are where we gather, right? Where we get together. So if we don't have places like Jim's family, my family, would get invited and never ever be able to go, right?
Sure.
So it doesn't truly feel like a community. It feels like we're one step outside of that. So I think that certainly is part of it. Also reflects what a community believes in. Definitely.
Sure.
So when we're talking to city officials, senators, all of that, we are saying you believe in serving each and every member of your community. In one of our city council meetings in Wentzville, a woman got up and she said, I pay taxes every single day for parks that you develop that we can't be part of.
Sure.
Right? So I think if we want to say we are a community, it means including each and every one of us.
Yeah.
And not as an afterthought, but while we're designing, how can we do this better to make sure we all feel welcome?
I think it also probably just kind of bleeds into the community as far as like businesses being more inclusive and representatives or mayors or whatever. Like it's one of those things where you don't know till you know, or it doesn't affect you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so I think having those playgrounds is very eye-opening to just people who come into our community, and they see these playgrounds. Lake St. Louis is one of the biggest hotspots for people to move to, right?
It is.
And so that playground, or Zachary's playground, I'm putting this way because it's literally right behind Dearborg.
It's literally right there.
They're taking their children here and they're realizing like, wow, this is where I moved into. Like, this is a really awesome community to move into, whether, they have, family with disabilities or, their kids themselves, but now they have a place that their kids can learn and hang out with everyone.
You're right.
It's awesome.
For families like mine. So Zachary passed away 3 years ago.
So sorry to hear that.
Me too.
Yeah.
But the beauty within that, I received emails and letters from people I've never met thanking me for the playground. But one of them that I highlight often was from a dad that lived in Troy. And he said, Natalie, you've never met me, but I have a child with a disability. And my wife took our son to Zachary's playground. And he said she came home that day in tears saying she watched our child play for the first time. And he said, and do you know what I did? I sold my house and I moved next to your playground, and I need you to know that's how much it meant to my family. So when we talk of community, for families like mine, a playground says, once again, we've thought of you and you're welcome here and we want you.
Yes.
Right? It's not a barrier for us to participate. So the dramatic nature of thinking somebody would move because of a playground, it's because it speaks to so much more than just the opportunity to play.
It's they're moving their child to a community that's inclusive.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. What a cool story.
It is. I have, because I get to do this all the time all over the nation, I could fill up hours of amazing stories of families that have said thank you for what you do. And what I do, what Unlimited Play does, is only because of businesses like yours. We're a nonprofit. And it is, it's vital that we're supported. So thank you for all
we love
of that.
It. We had so much fun. It was a rainy day at your Sweaty Pig.
It sure was.
But we had so much fun, and my daughter ran her first little Sweaty Pig marathon. It was so cute. But we count us in again. But It's always so much. You guys just make everything so fun. Let's talk. We talked that you are going all over, international to Canada.
Yeah.
What else do you aspire? Like, you've mentioned talking to legislators and mayors and all those things.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
We hired a woman who created Jackie Joyner Kersey's curriculum program for schools to write a program for unlimited play to go into schools and teach about inclusion and use our playgrounds as a way to both teach in the classroom and then a field trip out to our playgrounds so they can experience what it is for a truly inclusive environment. So in St. Charles County particularly, we're really interested in launching that. We have so many playgrounds here.
Yeah.
And we're known and kids know what our playgrounds are. We're hoping to find teachers, superintendents, anybody in the school district who's listening to this right now.
That's you guys.
That's interested, contact us.
Yeah.
It's an important, our playgrounds naturally teach the importance of inclusion, but I'd like it to be much more intentional in the school system.
That would even be good for like a summer camp.
100%. So anything like that youth can think of that allows us to teach kids directly the importance of inclusion.
Okay. I have some ideas in the back of my head. How do our listeners and community help? Like if they don't own a business, but they're listening and they're like, can they just like donate like $5 to you?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely. So unlimitedplay.org, there's a donate button. We accept $1 all the way up to whatever, right?
Unlimited.
Anything they can give. Unlimited, you can give once, you can give monthly, whatever way you want to. Another way to support us is to join our annual events. So you brought up the Sweaty Pig. This year it's June 21st.
Okay.
At Zachary's Playground.
It's so fun, guys.
And the magic of it is June 21st is Zach's birthday also.
I love it.
So I'm hoping we have a large crowd to help celebrate a little boy who is no longer here, but the beauty of the legacy that he has left. And we get together that day in his memory and run the race together. So whether you're a business owner and you want to sponsor or an individual that wants to run, run.
Is it going to be birthday themed?
We just learned last week we're doing it on the 21st,
but
I'm sure our marketing will include Zachary's birthday and help us celebrate and be part of Team Zach. Yes.
That's cool.
So that's beautiful. And then right now we are one of 4 charities that was chosen for the Ameren UE Power Play for Kids
big deal
competition. So it's an online voting competition. It's been going on since beginning of December. It goes all the way through January.
Okay.
And if you're chosen as the top nonprofit, they give, oh good grief, I think it's $500 for every Power Play goal that was made during the season.
Wow.
So for a national but small nonprofit, that's a really big deal.
That's huge.
So it's voting every single day.
Okay.
And we would really, really appreciate any help to win that competition.
Okay, listeners. So you can vote every single day. We'll also post this on our Facebook page.
Wonderful.
When we put this all out. And we can post it in our show notes. That's fantastic. How many parks do you have at the moment?
I think we have about 119. But I need to, we have so many. We have 119
That's a good problem
open,
to have.
And then we have maybe 67 around the nation we're working on right now. And that's just ones we know we're working on for sure. And in the last day and a half, I have 3 new projects that have popped up.
Did someone from Canada contact you? How did that happen?
They did. So we actually are working on a really large project with John Bartlett, who is the NFL announcer up in Canada. So that helps a lot. And on that project, once it opens, we're still fundraising for it. It's
going to be hockey themed?
It is hockey themed, unlike anything you've ever seen.
Oh,
it will be
so cool.
Amazing. So we're working on fundraising for that one. And then we have a few smaller projects in Canada based on our partnership again with Little Tikes Commercial.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it is incredible to think it was a dream almost 22 years ago to build just Zachary's. And now it is international and every single day.
An amazing mom Zachary had to
thank
fill
you.
not only his need, but the needs of so many other families and kids. Like,
thank you.
It's amazing.
But again, I'll go back to not only is Zachary's Playground here in Lake St. Louis, but we did Team Zach in the Lake St. Louis Triathlon. So my mom, his grandma, would tether herself to a raft and pulled him a mile through the swim. My dad did the 26-mile bike, and then I would do the run. But we had Lake St. Louis say, yes, we're going to structure this different, and we're going to allow Team Zach to make this triathlon inclusive. And then throughout the years, we had other people join. So I cannot brag enough about Lake St. Louis.
Amazing. Yeah.
And the standard that they have set that we have now taken nationally to say, look at this example in Lake St. Louis and let's do this everywhere else.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love this community so much. I brag about everyone and our loyal customers. And I mean, just all the way to how well we can staff our store.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, they're all from Lake St. Louis or Wentzville, and it has to come from the people who live here, because our baristas are phenomenal in every sense.
Good.
But just how they've embraced us as PJs and welcomed us and let us do all these fun, crazy events and, do all sorts of things.
Our gala will be, I think it's October 18th.
Okay.
But I'm going to verify, and you can put it in your show notes once I get you the date for sure. But at the pageant this year, we have a donor who is sponsoring Rory Feek, which is a country music singer. He has a daughter with Down syndrome coming in to sing for us. So again, it's a really big deal.
That's
it's a really
so
big
awesome.
Deal. So we would love companies that want to be part of that, individuals that want to attend. Our run and our gala are how Unlimited Play really continues to do everything we do. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll send you information, and that would be great.
Yes, we want to learn all about it. Our listeners need to know how they can contact you, how they can donate, anything and everything Unlimited Play.
Okay.
We also want to know, you're going to have to let me know, which I follow you on social, but our listeners will also want to know if you guys win that Amarin Play.
Oh, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
We'll let you know for sure. We are also opening Teddy's Playground this year at Queenie Park in St. Louis. So we're going to keep you up to date on that, so you can let your listeners know when they can come out and celebrate. There is, nothing more spectacular than day of opening a playground.
Can you tell us about that playground? I feel like they all have their individual themes and niches, which is really cool.
You're right. Yeah.
So can you tell us what that one is, or is it a secret?
It is not a secret, because we've been fundraising for a long time for this one. So it is game board themed.
Oh, cool.
Inspired by Teddy, who has dwarfism. And in almost 22 years, I'd never had a family come and say, hey, my child has a hard time on the playground too. Can we build a playground more focused to include kids with Down syndrome, or not Down syndrome, dwarfism?
Yeah.
So we are doing that at Queenie Park. It'll be spectacular, game themed, what you know of Unlimited Play. Fully inclusive.
That's so awesome. I love hearing all about this. I could listen to your stories all day.
Oh, I haven't even started with all the stories I have, but yes.
I'm sure I know what your favorite playground is.
No doubt. Favorite, best ever.
Yes, that's Zachary's, which is right here in our community.
Yeah.
Tell us, what are some more? I want to learn more. So what are there some niches that you have? Because we have Jake's Field of Dreams with sports, and we have the gamer option in Queenie Park now. What else do you have? A hockey one, you said.
Hockey one. Boy,
I'm putting you on the
spot.
spot.
You are going to challenge me on this one. No, that's okay. People ask us to do all kinds of themes. So Lucas's playground is treehouse themed.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, and then we have Braden's in St. Genevieve, and that has a silo and corn stalks that you crawl across. And with it, theme is something like when I was designing Zachary's, vendors would give me designs and they had endless ramping. And I just thought, families will pull up, think this playground is just for kids with disabilities, and respectfully leave. So let's add almost like a Disney World theme, right?
It is. It's cool.
It's so fun. But then as I continued through this journey, cognitive therapists have said, hey, Natalie, imagination is a key to kids as they're developing. So us adding a theme helps kids who are a little bit behind in their developmental milestones. It allows them to show up at Zachary's and everybody knows you're in a castle and you're playing, and then you get to build from there, right? So not only is it fun, but it is purposeful for kids with cognitive disabilities that need some help.
You guys think of everything.
Boy, we're still learning though. That's the thing, right? I love that families
awesome.
like Teddy's family called and said, can you do these few changes to include Teddy even more? So I want your listeners to remember that. We want to continue to learn what we can do better as we go throughout the nation doing this.
Natalie, thank you so much. This has been an honor. I love hearing your story, and I just am excited to see where you guys take this as far as you can.
Thank you.
Awesome.
My pleasure to be here, and it means a lot.
Listeners, you know what to do. You got to vote for her. Vote for Unlimited Play on Ameren Play. That's a
Unlimited Play. Yes, Ameren. It's a lot. Find our website, and you'll see how to vote.
yeah. And then if you want to donate, whatever you feel like what is called to action for you to do, we will have everything linked to our show notes, and so we'll make it super easy for you. And what I would really like to see is check out some of these playgrounds and tag Unlimited Play, tag PJ's Coffee, and let's send some love their way and get them some more, volunteers or donations or just love in general. So thank you so much again.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it.